Before we begin, remember this: sometimes the most powerful words in the world are the ones you never say. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Silence is confidence. And when you understand how to use it, it becomes one of the most powerful tools in attraction and relationships. Now let me tell you something most people don't understand. Many people think love and attraction come from talking more, explaining more, chasing more, and proving more. But the truth is the opposite. The more you over-explain, the more you chase, the more you reveal every emotion immediately, the more mystery disappears. And when mystery disappears, attraction slowly fades. A man becomes intrigued when he feels there is more to discover about you. And silence creates that curiosity. One of the most powerful things you can learn in relationships is that your time and attention are valuable. When you respond instantly to every message, every call, and every little interaction, it can slowly create the impression that you are always available and always waiting. At first, it may seem like you are simply being kind, responsive, and interested, but over time, it removes a sense of excitement and curiosity. Human nature tends to value things that feel slightly limited or special. When someone knows they can have your attention at any moment without effort, it can unconsciously reduce the sense of importance attached to it. Taking a little time before responding does not mean you are playing games or ignoring someone. It simply means you are living your life. You have responsibilities, interests, passions, and priorities that deserve your attention. When a person sees that you are not glued to your phone waiting for them, it sends a quiet but powerful signal that your life is full and meaningful. And this naturally creates a healthier balance because it shows that communication with you is something to appreciate rather than something guaranteed every second. There is also a psychological effect that happens when responses are not immediate. When someone sends a message and has to wait a bit for reply, their mind begins to think about you more. They start wondering what you are doing, where you are, and what you might say when you respond. That small space of time creates curiosity. And curiosity is a powerful driver of attraction and interest. It keeps the interaction alive in their thoughts instead of making it feel routine or predictable. Another important aspect is emotional independence. When you are able to take your time before responding, it shows that your mood and schedule are not controlled by someone else's message notification. You are choosing when to engage rather than reacting automatically. This demonstrates confidence and emotional stability, two qualities that naturally draw people in. At the same time, balance is important. The goal is not to disappear or make someone feel ignored, but to create a rhythm where communication feels natural rather than constant. When responses come from a place of intention rather than habit, conversations feel more meaningful. Your words carry more weight because they are not rushed or automatic. Over time, the other person begins to recognize that your attention is something special, something that isn't given to everyone all the time, and that alone can make your presence far more valuable. One of the strongest ways a person can protect their dignity in a relationship is by refusing to react emotionally when they are treated with disrespect. Many people feel the immediate urge to defend themselves, raise their voice, or prove their point when someone says something hurtful or tries to provoke them. This reaction is natural because nobody likes to feel misunderstood or insulted. However, responding with anger often gives the other person exactly what they wanted: your emotional energy. When you argue back, explain yourself repeatedly, or fight to be heard in that moment, the situation usually becomes louder, more tense, and less respectful. And choosing silence in moments of disrespect can be incredibly powerful. Instead of feeding the conflict, silence creates a pause that changes the entire dynamic. When you stop reacting and simply withdraw your attention from the negativity, it shows a level of self-control that words alone cannot express. It communicates that you value your peace more than winning an argument. This quiet confidence often makes the other person realize that their behavior is not going to pull you into unnecessary drama. Silence in these situations is not about accepting bad behavior or pretending nothing happened. It is about refusing to lower your standards by participating in disrespectful exchanges. When someone sees that you will not engage with negativity, they are forced to confront their own behavior. Sometimes people say things impulsively because they expect a reaction. When the reaction never comes, they begin to reflect on what they said and why they said it. Another important aspect of this kind of silence is emotional strength. Anyone can react with anger in the heat of the moment, but it takes maturity and discipline to remain calm and composed. That calmness sends a message that your emotions are not easily controlled by someone else's words. It shows that you have boundaries and that those boundaries are not going to be shaken by temporary frustration or disrespect. Over time, this behavior builds respect. People learn that you are not someone who participates in unnecessary conflict or emotional chaos. They begin to understand that if they want your attention, they must approach you with respect and sincerity. Silence in these moments becomes a quiet form of self-respect, a way of protecting your energy while reminding others that your presence in their life is not something they can take lightly. One of the biggest mistakes people make when forming a new connection is revealing everything about themselves too quickly. When someone feels excited about a new person, they often want to share their entire story right away, their past relationships, personal struggles, family history, dreams, fears, and every small detail of their life. While openness is important in any healthy relationship, revealing everything too early can remove an important element that naturally builds attraction and interesting mystery. Human beings are naturally curious. When we meet someone new, part of the excitement comes from slowly discovering who they are over time. Each conversation becomes a chance to learn something new, and that process keeps the connection engaging and fresh. But when someone shares every detail of their life in the beginning, that sense of discovery disappears. The conversation can start to feel predictable because there is little left to uncover. Keeping certain parts of your life private does not mean you are being secretive or dishonest. It simply means you understand the value of pacing. Just like a good story unfolds chapter by chapter, a meaningful connection grows stronger when people reveal themselves gradually. Each moment of sharing should feel natural and earned rather than rushed. When you allow information about yourself to unfold slowly, it creates a deeper sense of curiosity. The other person begins to realize that there is more to you than what they see on the surface. They may start wondering about your experiences, your thoughts, and your perspective on different things. That curiosity keeps their attention focused on you because their mind continues trying to learn more. Another benefit of not revealing everything immediately is that it protects your emotional energy. When you share too much too soon, you may later realize that the other person has not earned that level of trust yet. By allowing time to pass before opening up fully, you give yourself the chance to observe their character, intentions, and consistency. Trust becomes something that grows naturally rather than something given away instantly. This gradual sharing also creates stronger emotional value in your words. When someone knows that you do not share your deeper thoughts with just anyone, they begin to appreciate the moments when you do open up. Your honesty feels more meaningful because it comes with intention and trust. Over time, this approach builds a connection that feels more balanced, where curiosity, respect, and emotional depth grow together instead of being rushed all at once. One of the most important yet often overlooked aspects of any relationship is emotional space. Many people believe that constant communication is the key to keeping a connection strong. They feel that talking all the time, texting throughout the day, and always staying in touch will make the bond deeper. While communication is certainly important, too much of it without any space can sometimes have the opposite effect. When two people are constantly connected every moment, the relationship can start to feel routine instead of exciting. Silence and distance, when used in a healthy way, create room for appreciation to grow. When someone is always present, their presence can begin to feel normal and expected. But when there are moments where communication naturally slows down, it allows both people to feel the difference between presence and absence. That small gap can remind someone how much they actually enjoy talking to you and spending time with you. Emotional space also allows both individuals to maintain their independence. A strong relationship is not built on two people losing themselves in each other, but on two individuals who still have their own lives, interests, and responsibilities. When someone sees that you have a full life outside the relationship, it becomes attractive because it shows balance and confidence. You are not relying on constant attention to feel complete. Another powerful effect of space is that it gives emotions time to grow. When communication pauses for a while, a person may begin thinking about you more. They might remember a conversation you had, something funny you said, or a moment you shared together. Those thoughts happen naturally when there is quiet time for reflection. Without that time, everything moves so quickly that emotions do not have the opportunity to deepen. And space also prevents the relationship from feeling overwhelming. When people communicate nonstop, small misunderstandings or emotional reactions can happen more easily because there is no break to reset. Silence provides that reset. It allows both people to calm down, focus on their own activities, and return to the conversation with a clearer mind. In many ways, silence works like a pause in music. Without pauses, music would simply be noise. The quiet moments between notes are what give the melody its rhythm and meaning. In the same way, moments of space and silence within a relationship allow appreciation, curiosity, and emotional connection to grow naturally, making the time spent together feel even more valuable. One of the most powerful psychological elements in attraction is curiosity. When a person fully understands everything you think, feel, and plan at every moment, there is little left for their mind to explore. But when there are moments where your thoughts are not immediately revealed, something interesting begins to happen. The other person starts to think about you more deeply. They begin to wonder what you are feeling, what you meant by certain words, or what might be going on in your mind. That curiosity naturally pulls their attention toward you. Many people make the mistake of explaining every emotion right away. If they feel happy, confused, upset, or excited, they immediately express every detail. While honesty is important, constantly revealing every thought can remove the natural intrigue that keeps people mentally engaged. When someone knows exactly what you are thinking at all times, the connection can become predictable. Predictability often reduces excitement because there is nothing left to figure out. Allowing someone to wonder about you does not mean you are being distant or manipulative. It simply means you do not rush to explain every feeling the moment it appears. Sometimes silence gives the other person the opportunity to reflect on their own behavior and their own feelings. Instead of always guiding the conversation or explaining every reaction, you allow space for them to think. When a person starts thinking about you more often, their emotional investment naturally grows. The human mind has a tendency to become attached to what it spends time thinking about. If someone frequently wonders what you are doing, what you are thinking, or what your next move might be, your presence slowly occupies more space in their thoughts. Over time, this repeated mental focus can strengthen emotional attraction. There is also a level of confidence shown when you are comfortable with silence. People who feel the need to constantly explain themselves often do so because they fear being misunderstood or losing attention. But when you are calm enough to allow someone to wonder about you, it signals that you are secure in who you are. You do not feel pressure to constantly prove or clarify yourself. This quiet confidence can be very intriguing. It creates the feeling that there is always something more to learn about you, something deeper beneath the surface. When someone senses that there are layers to your personality and perspective, they become more interested in discovering those layers over time, which keeps the connection engaging and mentally stimulating. And confidence is often misunderstood as something loud and attention-seeking, but true confidence is usually quiet and steady. It does not need constant validation, approval, or recognition. A person who is truly confident does not feel the need to speak all the time, explain every action, or prove their worth in every conversation. Instead, their presence alone communicates self-assurance. This is why silence can be one of the clearest signs of genuine confidence. When someone constantly talks about themselves, defends every small point, or tries to dominate every conversation, it sometimes comes from insecurity rather than strength. They may feel that if they stop speaking, they will lose attention or control of the situation. But a confident person understands that they do not need to compete for attention. They know their value does not depend on how much they talk, but on the quality of their presence and the intention behind their words. Silence shows emotional stability because it reflects patience and control. When you are comfortable quiet in certain moments, it shows that you are not anxious about filling every gap in the conversation. You are relaxed, aware, and comfortable with yourself. And this calm energy often makes others feel more curious and attentive because people tend to listen more carefully when someone speaks less but with purpose. Another powerful aspect of silent confidence is that it naturally commands respect. When a person speaks only when they truly have something meaningful to say, their words carry more weight. Others begin to pay closer attention because they know those words are not random or unnecessary. Over time, this creates a reputation for being thoughtful and composed rather than reactive or impulsive. Silence also prevents unnecessary conflict and misunderstanding. People who speak too quickly in emotional moments sometimes say things they later regret. A confident person knows the value of pausing before reacting. That pause allows them to think clearly and choose their words carefully and respond with maturity rather than emotion. This ability to remain calm and controlled during challenging moments often leaves a strong impression on others. Ultimately, quiet confidence is attractive because it signals inner security. It shows that you are comfortable with who you are and do not need constant reassurance from the outside world. And when someone carries themselves with this kind of calm, self-assured energy, people naturally feel drawn to them because confidence that is expressed through composure and silence often feels far more powerful than confidence that is constantly spoken aloud. When you speak less but speak with purpose, people listen more carefully, and when you carry yourself with quiet confidence, it becomes incredibly attractive. Silence, when used wisely, it is not distance, it is power, it is mystery, it is self-respect. And the truth is simply, when someone knows they can't completely figure you out, when they know your attention isn't automatic, and when they feel your calm confidence, they begin to value you in a completely different way. Because the loudest message you can ever send is sometimes the one you never say.